You are listening to the Glenn Beck Radio Program podcast.
Forgetting Valentine's Day is just about as bad as, maybe even worse, than forgetting her birthday or your anniversary. You forget Valentine's Day in your toast. In fact, do it right now. Get a dozen assorted roses with a free glass vase for $19.99, or double the roses, 2 dozen roses, and the premium vase for $9.99 more. It's easy. It's quick. It's proflowers.com. They will deliver on Valentine's Day, guaranteed. And you can't beat the price or the convenience. Choose the delivery date. You want it on Valentine's Day? You want it the day before Valentine's Day? You choose. But order right now. Here's the way you can get the limited time Valentine's deal. 1 dozen assorted roses with a free glass vase, $19.99, or upgrade to 2 dozen assorted roses with a premium vase for $9.99 more. 1-800-PRO-FLOWERS, 1-800-PRO-FLOWERS, or proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone at the top hand corner and type in my name, Glenn. Proflowers.com. Click on the microphone, type in Glenn. Order today. Deal expires Friday at midnight.
You're about to hear is the fusion of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
Hello and welcome. Today is my 50th birthday, and so I've had a morning kind of reflection, and I met my wife in 1997. That was yesterday. Just yesterday. I remember when I was 30 years old, and I was laying in bed, and I was a raging alcoholic, and I thought to myself, as I watched the old digital clock flip to 12. And it was my 30th birthday, and I thought to myself, my life is about to change. And the doctor had already, told me, you keep this up. I don't know what you're doing to yourself, but you keep this up, you'll be dead very soon. And I knew I had to stop drinking, and I knew, and I was friendless, and I was, Pat had abandoned me. Pat had been like, I'm out of here, dude. I know you're having some crisis in your life. Whatever. Hope you die.
It's exactly how it happened.
And,
exactly.
That's what I heard.
A good description.
That's what I heard. That's what America heard.
Really
but anyway,
apt description.
Yeah. So, and so I sobered up later that year. In November of that year, I stopped drinking. And I remember that it was tough. And I remember in a couple of years around this time thinking to myself, all I want is my reputation back. That's all I want. 10 years ago, on my 40th birthday, my wife threw a party for me and invited all my old friends, people I hadn't seen in years. And I remember on my 40th birthday thinking, you've wasted most of your life. I had just started this company, and I think I had about maybe three employees. And I thought, geez, man, you're halfway to 80. And you've wasted your life. There's no time to accomplish anything. And I dedicated myself in that decade to making sure I hadn't wasted my life and make up for lost time. And today, I sit here at 50 and see what this company is, and see the impact that the people who work with me have made with me in the last 10 years. And I'm amazed. I'm amazed that when you set your mind to it, you can do anything. After my 30th birthday, I knew that I had destroyed everything. I knew I had destroyed my credibility. I knew I had destroyed absolutely everything. And all I wanted was my credibility back. All I wanted was my name back. All I wanted was to be a decent human being. And I don't think anybody would say you can change. Pat knows the way people who used to work with me back in the 80s used to feel about me, and how people didn't trust me for a very long time, and how all of those people now have, I think, Pat, without exception, have come to my side and said, my gosh, you're a totally different man. Friday, in this last decade, I have won Marconi, which is kind of the radio Oscar, if you will. And it is one award that sits on my desk that I cherish. I really do. To be able to have won a Marconi is pretty amazing. It's just an amazing thing. But I went to speak at a radio convention on Friday. And nobody on my staff told me, because they're all weasels. But I spoke, and they didn't tell me that I was receiving the Andrew Ashwood Award. And the Andrew Ashwood Award, Andrew was a friend of mine, and he was an amazing man and a good, decent guy. And everybody loved him. And well, he died way prematurely. And so every year they give away the Andrew Ashwood Award. And I finished my speech, and the guy who runs the convention said, hold on just a second, we have something for you. And they start talking about the Andrew Ashwood Award. And I don't even remember what the guy said. You have the audio of this?
Yeah.
Not of my speech.
I don't have the whole speech. I have him presenting you the award, and then your very brief acceptance of the award. Do you remember what you said?
I do remember what I said, and it was the only thing I could think of, and it was because it was exactly what I felt. And well, you go ahead and play it.
All right.
Andrew Ashwood was a radio guy. He was such a mensch. He was the kind of positive, helpful, decent guy that the people who knew him are still in mourning. And they created this award to exemplify, well, basically being a decent person in this business. It's not about the accomplishments. It's not about any particular thing. It's just, you're the kind of guy. I wish we had more of you in the business. Gabe is a previous winner. Bruce Gilbert is here as a previous winner. Rick Scott's a previous winner. I was honored last year, and now next year you will present it to somebody who you think exemplifies the tradition of Andrew Ashwood.
As a guy who, excuse my language, was in a hole for most of my life. It's very kind. Thank you.
I will tell you that that's all I could think of, is because that's who I used to be. And it took me by surprise, and I know it doesn't mean anything to you as a listener, but I'm telling you this story for a reason. The Marconi is a big deal in my business, and a business that I wanted to be in since I was 13 years old, since I was 8. And that's a big deal. This is a bigger deal to me because, especially on my 50th birthday weekend, it marks that you can change. That no matter what you've done in your life, no matter who you are or who you think you are, when I was 30, I knew who I was, and it was a bad guy. But that was a lie. I was a good guy that had gone wrong. And it was really hard, and I spent a long time just praying. I don't want to be this guy anymore. Just help me not be that guy. Help me be a good, positive force. And it's taken 20 years to get there, kind of. I'm going to beat you to the punch. Kind of. A little bit. I mean, it's your birthday. We'll let it slide.
Only a real jerk would ruin that punchline.
Yeah. But I just want you to know that wherever you are in your life today, whether you feel like, I don't want to be the person I am, then change it. You can. You can make dramatic changes in your life. Whether you're somebody who says, I've wasted my life, and I'm not doing what I should have been doing, or I've missed all these opportunities, or nobody else will give me a chance, or I just want to make up for lost time, you can do it. You can do it. It's not just America. It's the way God works. I think I said something Friday. I was getting ready to get into the car, and we were cutting a commercial for the Blaze. And we've been working on these commercials for a while about just be who you are. Just create what you're supposed to create. And and we were trying to find the right phrase for it, and it just came out. And I thought, that's it. That's it. And I want to share it with you. Life is what you make of it. Let's make something good. Because it can be done. Start today.
This is the Glenn Beck Program. The Blaze Radio Network.
My wife and I have decided that Valentine's Day is a stupid, stupid holiday. And actually, no, I've decided it was a stupid, stupid holiday. She has grown to accept that I'm not going to do anything great on Valentine's Day because there's too much pressure. And so what we've come to is freshly dipped gigantic berries from Sherry's Berries. They're starting at $19.99. Now that's over a 40% savings. You can also double the berries for just $10 more. They're dipped in white milk and dark chocolatey goodness. I mean, it is really good. 40% off now from Sherry's Berries. In the old days, we would have thought, oh, this is so romantic. Now we sit around the kitchen and we just open the box and we eat them and laugh at ourselves. It's Sherry's Berries. Call 866-FRUIT-02. 866-FRUIT-02. Or go to BERRIES.com. That's berries.com. Click on the microphone. Type in my name, Glenn. Order today. Berries.com.
Glenn Beck.
Alrighty then. Hey, I don't know if you saw the Olympics, but I didn't realize that killing 50 million people was a pivotal experiment.
Oh, really pivotal? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just... We're just testing it out.
Bless their collective heart.
Yeah, get rid of a few extra people. Let's see how that goes. Let's try it.
You know
and
what
they
we should do?
They did.
In this experiment, let's starve an entire country to death. What do you think? Let's starve the Ukraine. Let's see if we starve everybody in the Ukraine to death.
Like 11 million of them anyway.
Yeah, but only in a year.
Yeah.
We'll only kill 11 million in a year. You know, the Nazis killed 6 million during the war. Mm-hmm. We could kill 11 million in a 1 year time span.
And how about when we put guards at the fields?
To shoot like the kids come
when
out.
Starving victims come and they try to take food out of people, you shoot them.
Yeah,
Let's try that.
Great.
Let's try that experiment. You know what I'd call that? Pivotal.
Me too.
Yeah, pivotal, man.
That'd be great.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Hey, after we do that, what do you say we get together and we just get like a whole prison system?
Okay.
And we spread this prison system over like 8 time zones.
I like it.
Okay. And then we just torture people. Oh, I know. And we'll get the current leader of that. Mm-hmm. We'll get him to put his office above the prison cells so he can once in a while going, Boris, quiet. I cannot hear their screams from the basement. Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be awesome. I call that pivotal. How about if we just overrun littler countries that we just want to take over? How about if
great.
Czechoslovakia, for instance?
You know what? There's nothing wrong with it. We wouldn't be like the Americans that did that to the Indians. Let's focus on what we have done to the Native Americans 100 years ago.
Exactly.
That was bad and
That was
dark.
bad. That was bad.
Bad and dark.
Not pivotal.
But
not pivotal.
Not pivotal. And not an experiment.
Not an experiment. It was bad. It was dark. It will always be. It should be destroyed. But let me go back to the Ukraine thing because that was 11 million in a year. But I bet if we started in, let's say, 1919 and go to like 1990, we could kill 50 million people.
Oh, easy.
That'd be great.
I think that would really be pivotal. I really think so.
Oh, my gosh. I couldn't believe NBC has gone full-fledged dark and insane. NBC is now saying communism. Can you imagine saying that about fascism? That was a pivotal experiment, wasn't it? You know, here we are in Berlin, where this was the home of a pivotal experiment. No, it was called fascism. It killed millions of people. A pivotal experiment. Bless their collective heart. What did they say about their collective heart? A country that has always expressed their heart collectively? Yes, because they had a gun to their head.
It's like it's a wonderful thing that just randomly happened.
Yeah,
everyone seemed to have the same opinion for about 70, 80 years. Weird.
Everybody had the same opinion. Everybody liked the same car. Everybody liked the same job.
Everybody liked the same leader because they kept voting for him over and over and over, like to the tune of 99%.
It was amazing.
We couldn't find anyone who voted against these guys.
Well, you could, and then they disappear strangely at night. What a pivotal experiment.
You got to listen to it. This is an amazing little promo they did.
Russia transcends.
Russia.
Through every stage of its story, it's resisted any notion of limitation.
No, hang on just a second. It couldn't resist. It couldn't resist.
At least the people couldn't.
Every time there was a brutal dictator, whether it was a czar or a Soviet leader, they couldn't resist. They resisted every time. No, they tried. They were all slaughtered.
And the entire society was about limitation. You were limited in everything you did by the power of the government.
You couldn't even go across the country without papers. Are you kidding me? That's without limitations.
Through every reinvention, only redoubling its desire to cast a towering presence.
Stop. Yeah. With every reinvention, it tried to cast a towering... Yes, it wanted to be an evil empire. And it was. That's like... It is honestly like describing Darth Vader and the Galactic Empire. That's what that was. They wanted world domination. They wanted to destroy and kill everyone who disagreed with them. They tried to cast a... Yeah, that's not a good thing, NBC.
The empire that ascended to affirm a colossal footprint. The revolution that birthed one of modern history's pivotal experiments.
There it is. One of modern history's pivotal experiments.
NBC, are you now trying to do to the rest of your network what you've done to your news department? Now, we're NBC. Now let's kill our sports department. But there's more. There's more. It's one of the... And you know what? My daughter last night, Cheyenne, we were watching the Olympics, and my daughter said... She's like, she sees Putin come on the screen. Ooh, he doesn't look happy. He doesn't leave. Yeah, good. That's the Holy Spirit working in you, sweetie. Yeah, you keep strengthening that. Yeah, he doesn't look happy. He's a very bad man. Look, here's a picture of him harpooning a whale as a pivotal experiment.
The Glenn Beck Program.
The Blaze Radio Network. Glenn Beck program returns.
I can't get past the Putin evil Olympics and the way that Russia is being portrayed in these Olympics by NBC. It is truly evil. If you want to say that Russia has a real heart and a never say die attitude, you don't say that it was once a great empire that wanted to make a mighty footprint. But what are you saying? They conquered all of these nations, and you're saying that we steal people's land. They conquered all these nations, stole their land, stole their identity, just forced them into communism. Forced everybody, killed them. What you say is, after living under a czar, the people broke free in a mighty revolution that only led to another totalitarian regime that tried to keep the people down. But after 70 years, they broke free and became themselves. And, you
focus on the people and the spirit of the people,
right.
Not the power of the government.
Power of the communist government, and make it sound like it was a good thing.
It's unconscionable.
And they all had the same dream in their collective heart. No. That, again, is communism. Everybody is different. They're all they're all robots? They're all like, I really like what Pat likes, and Pat likes what our grand leader likes.
Yeah, everyone's dream that was different was crushed.
Was crushed. And now they're here to express themselves as individuals on the ice and teams, by choice. That's how you do this. NBC... It is clear, whoever wrote that, this isn't, you're not going to go over to Russia and have all the millions of dollars that, NBC has in there and then say, and they're a piece of crap country.
No, but
there's
a line you walk.
Yeah, and it's not this. No. It's not even close to this.
You don't need to praise the country's history. You can just talk about the freaking sporting events that are going on.
You let them praise their history, which they did to the 10th power at the opening ceremonies. Fine, it was great. And it was incredibly well done. I didn't want to like it. It's Russia. I know they're oppressing their people. I know Putin's a brutal dictator. I know this is his propaganda piece. I know all of that.
Nobody does those events better than dictators, though. Look at North Korea.
He did.
Because you remember China? Remember that drum thing that they did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was great.
Took a year, an entire year.
And this thing outstripped that by a factor of 10.
I didn't see it.
It was incredible. The only glitch was that, they had this one part where they had these, flowers or something that were supposed to expand into the Olympic rings. One of them didn't come out, but that was the only glitch in this unbelievable, 2.5, 3 hour spectacle. And start to finish, it was awe-inspiring. The technology involved was really incredible. You could see they spent some serious...
I have to watch it.
It had to be $1 billion thing.
I'm sure I could download that, right?
I bet you could, yeah.
Without sending any money to NBC?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't know. I bet you can watch it on the NBC website. Maybe
all right,
there's clips of it.
So go ahead, play the rest of this, because this is one of the most incredible things I've ever heard.
Start again.
Transcend.
Russia transcends.
Through every stage of its story, it's resisted any notion of limitation. Through every reinvention, only redoubling its desire to cast the towering presence.
Stop! That is
Isn't that
so
beautiful?
evil.
The towering presence. Ask the Czechs how that towering presence was received there.
Can I tell you? You know why Putin? You know why this is in Sochi? Do you know why this is there? This is there because a dictator, Vladimir Putin, decided that you terrorists, I am not going to put up with you. I will annihilate you. That's his quote. And he is sending a message. Hey, you remember what you did in Beslan? Remember what you did when you tried to kill all of those kids? And we went in and we killed all of you. And yes, we killed all the kids too. But we killed all of you. And then remember you took that theater in Moscow and we killed all the audience, but we killed all of you too. You know why he's put the Olympics there? Because he's sending a message. I will crush you. I will go to this is where the Boston Bombers came from. I will go to your heartland and I will take $51 billion, more than all other Olympics combined. And I will spend it and I will pave over your dead bodies. I will take your houses and leave you homeless, and I will completely wipe you off the face of the map to build an Olympic village, and the world will come and skate on your bones. That's what this Olympics is. Make no mistake. That's what this Olympics is. This is nothing more than Putin's message to the world. I will crush anyone who resists me, and I am not afraid of them. It's the same thing he's doing in Syria. What is he doing? There's a little uprising. Russia runs in for that port. Russia comes in. Russia's backing Syria. Why? You will not overthrow. You think you're going to overthrow dictators? You're not going to overthrow a dictator. I will show you. We will crush you. We will embarrass the Americans. We will embarrass the West. And we will crush any resistance. He's doing this because he is protecting his southern flank. That's why he's involved in Syria. Yes, I know there's a port and everything else. He is sending a message. Don't screw with me. So we are celebrating the ice skating. Understand, you have a brutal dictator who is sending a message to the world while we're looking and go, look at the snowboarders. You see that? He hung on with both hands. Understand that entire thing is a propaganda piece to the entire world. You want to touch me? I will kill you. That's what that is. That's why it's in that area. Because it makes no sense to put it there for any other reason. That's what he's done. Back to NBC.
The empire that ascended to affirm a colossal footprint. The revolution.
Stop.
That is just incredible.
You didn't hear that the first time?
Empire.
I don't know why I missed that the first time.
Colossal footprint. Yeah, they have a colossal footprint.
We're taking Czechoslovakia and we'll kill all the Czechs. We'll kill the Poles. We'll kill the Ukrainians. We'll just kill them.
Kazakhstan. Uzbekistan.
By happenstance, they had this wonderful large country that seemed to come from all their domination of others.
Yeah.
I love that. It's just like, they just happened.
They stretched from East Germany through all those Soviet republics that are now all broken up.
All the way past India, China, and to our shores, to the edge of Canada. It was Alaska until the 1950s. They went from Germany to Canada. Yeah. What did they do? They buy all that land?
That was a footprint.
They buy all that?
No. On eBay, yeah.
They bought it on eBay. They were given that land. We're called evil because we expanded in the 1800s. We expanded west and we did horrible things. Admit it. We did horrible things to the Indians. We did. But we're evil beyond compare. But they just expanded. They just had a great footprint. From Germany to Canada.
It's
They killed everyone on the way.
Really inexcusable.
Oh my gosh. This in any sane, free country, this would brand NBC as a communist network for the rest of they'd never get away from
certainly
just
communist sympathizers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is just nothing but propaganda. And we all
lies.
know, again,
it's just lies.
We all know there's a fine line you have to walk because you want to broadcast the games. We know you have billions of dollars invested in this. We understand you can't.
But you don't make it about
But you don't do this about the government and communism.
You make it about the people.
Yes,
the people endured.
Yes.
The people are great. When the empire fell, what were we shocked about? We were really shocked that the people were so great. Because we were raised to think that Russians were all bad. They're all Boris. Yes, we torture you, we kill you. No, it was the regime. When it fell, we realized the people are just like us. People are people. What a surprise. That's what you make this about, NBC, not the giant footprint and the empire and the pivotal experiment.
That birthed one of modern history's pivotal experiments.
Oh, my gosh. Jeez. Communism.
But if politics has long shaped our sense of who they are, it's passion that endures as a more reliable route to their collective heart.
Stop. Their collective heart.
Jeez.
Who has a collective heart? They were forced into that collective heart. Have you seen how the Balkans, have you seen how fast the Ukraine, how fast Georgia tried to get away from that collectivist thought? Have you heard the cries of their people still today? Stop, help us, somebody, good God Almighty, somebody help us. They just changed uniforms? My gosh. Their collective heart.
What they build when aspiration is lifted by imagination.
Yeah, the things the Russians build.
Gulags?
Gulags, vodka.
That awesome car.
The ZIL. There is none.
The ZIL. No, the ZIL was great.
The ZIL was great?
No. You could go sometimes 35 miles without it breaking down.
Could you really? 35?
Yeah, there's reports of that. There are reports of that.
Not in a row.
Oh, no, not in a row, no.
So you could go like 5 miles.
I can't tell you, if you could even make it a mile, but you could go 35 miles.
Eventually.
Okay.
Yeah. After repairs.
Some restrictions do apply. Not available in all time zones.
What in the Russians? And then when you see the video of this, it's rockets, heading off for space and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, this is the network that, as you mentioned, eschews all American exceptionalism, and then they're ballyhooing the Russian exceptionalism as paramount to the greatest empire in the history of the world.
There is no,
and we suck,
better network to be covering the games in Russia
than NBC.
I mean, it's really true. I feel like other people would be incapable of praising them like this, but NBC, I mean, this is right in their wheelhouse. Praising communism is in their wheelhouse.
You should praise the people of Russia. You should praise the people of Russia.
There has to be some of that, and they do.
Well, no, the people of Russia, I'm sure, are great.
They're great. I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm not at all.
I mean, I don't want to see them. I mean, I don't want to see them in the summer games. I don't want to see their Speedos. I don't want to see any Russians in Speedos. Okay? So, but other than that, I'm sure they're great. Except for the Speedo thing with the big fat Russian men who are drinking too much vodka. But again, let's not hyper-focus on just that.
Did they even mention the Speedos in this?
No,
piece?
but they showed absolutely beautiful women during this. So they did. This was propaganda start to finish. It just... Every piece of propaganda you could put in this is put in this. Every decent image that you could show of Russia is shown in this piece. It's really amazing.
It's really amazing. Hang on, Chelsea in Georgia. Let's take line 2. Chelsea, what did you see NBC do?
NBC was praising conformity. I guess they said that the ceremony was dedicated to conformity instead of the individual. I thought that was really weird, and it offended me.
I didn't notice that. They said that the opening ceremonies were praising conformity?
They said that the opening ceremony was dedicated to conformity instead of the individual.
Oh, my gosh. That's like the definition of evil. Everybody. Can you imagine? And they try, and they are the network that everybody on the left praises, and all the artists and everybody else. Can you imagine going in and saying to a group of artists and a group of people who are leftists and say, guys, what I want you to understand, we're all going for conformity now. Forget about the individual and artistic expression. We're going to all conform to that guy's wishes. Nobody would... No, what's wrong with you people on the left? What is wrong with you? Open your eyes. Don't you see what you're doing? Don't you see what you're following? You call me a fascist? Are you kidding me? Individual expression. I don't care. Individual expression. Just don't hurt people. Don't take their stuff. Don't hurt people. Don't take their stuff. Period. Conformity.
The Glenn Beck program returns in minutes.
The Blaze Radio Network.
Hi, it's Glenn Beck, and I want to thank you for supporting The Blaze. Because of your phone calls and emails, The Blaze has been added by many TV providers. But we can't stop now. The big media companies like DirecTV, Comcast, and Time Warner aren't listening. They think CNN, MSNBC, and Al Jazeera America are all you need. But we humbly disagree, and we think you do too. Visit GetTheBlaze.com and let your TV provider know that you want The Blaze in your home. GetTheBlaze.com. Thanks.
Glenn Beck.
You see the skating last night? And
yes.
The snowboarding, I thought was fantastic.
No.
Yeah. Snowboarding was great.
You didn't see any of this?
I don't care about any of it.
Stu doesn't care about the Olympics. He doesn't care about his country.
He hates America.
I don't really care about my country either.
I
really don't care.
Really?
No. Mm-mm.
See, I do care about my country. I don't care about the Olympics at all. I just don't.
Oh, see, I care about the Olympics. I don't care about my country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think the Olympics are just the expression of a good collective globalist heart.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
I see
and
that.
it's growing its footprint in such a great way that I just that's what I'm really into is the collective growing footprint of the collective.
Well, sort of a pivotal experiment sort of thing.
Yes, without all the killing.
Yeah.
But did you see that they were upset that our ice skaters, one of our ice skaters, had a gun holster because he was doing a James Bond? Yeah, that's us. That's us. That's our. That's the country you're proud of, right there. I can't leave it to America to have somebody with a gun holster on the ice.
Program. The Blaze Radio Network.
You're about to hear is the fusion of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
Hello and welcome to the program. I want to talk to you a little bit about two movies that I saw this weekend. One, the Lego Movie. Go see that with your kids. Go see that with your family. Go see that by yourself.
It does not look good to me.
Oh, it's hysterical.
Is it really good?
It is hysterical. It is really good, and it teaches a great message. It's not like it's a message movie or anything else, but it is, and you're like, oh, it's, you immediately think, oh, really, the bad guy's Mr. Big Business? And you're like, oh, jeez. But when you get to the end, you're like, oh, my gosh, this is great. And it's funny. It is completely different. It is the first real new original idea I have seen in quite some time, and this thing is going to make hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions of dollars. It is fantastic. I wrote to the guy last night who did Cronies, and I said, have you seen this? In fact, I wrote to the art department yesterday as well. for the Blaze and Mercury Radio Arts and said everybody in the art department needs to go see the Lego Movie. Everybody in the creative division has to go see this. In fact, down here in Dallas, now how much do you wish you were working not in New York but down here in Dallas? We're all gonna go to the movie this week sometime because it's really funny. You'll love it. In fact, Rafe and I left and we were like, I think we have to go see that again, Rafe.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's great. You'll love it. Okay. Then I also saw this weekend. It was a movie weekend for me. Also saw Monuments Men. Now I happen to love this story, so I'm partial to this movie. Some people might find it a little slow. I don't know. I liked it, but I'm not gonna.
I really wanted to see it. It was worth it.
I thought it was, but I liked the story. And I like the actors in it too.
Can you lay out the story a little bit?
Yeah, the story is, and it's a true story. The story is that during World War II, they saw that Hitler was taking all of the art, and he was going to build a Führer's museum in Berlin, and it would be the largest art collection in the world, and it would have been all of the art from all of Europe and Russia.
Yeah, he was helping himself to everything from the Louvre.
Everything.
And everywhere else he conquered.
Every home, everybody.
Yeah.
So he would go into the country and he would find out who had the greatest art, and then he would kill the family and he would take the art, and then they'd ship it off and they'd hide it. And so it was grotesque what they were doing. Well, the universities got together and they said to FDR, they're stealing all of the art, and even if we win, there will be no culture left.
After promoting their philosophy that Hitler used for how long, they all got together when the art went away. Oh, thanks, guys.
Oh, wait. No, it's wait till the end of the monologue, Stu. Oh, it's much worse than that. And so what they did was they all got together and said the art we'll lose culture. We will lose what the West even means. Because he was going into churches and he was killing all of the priests and taking all of the icons and everything else. So they put together what are called the Monuments Men, and there were just a few of them, and their job was to go in and find and protect the great pieces of art and monuments. Now think of that. In World War II, in Italy and in France, go track down all of the art. Go find the Mona Lisa. Where is it? What happened to it? Go find the Michelangelo. Who's going to make sure that the David statue is still standing at the end of World War II? Because he was also, when he was leaving a town, if he lost control of that town, his order was destroy it all, blow it all up. So blow the David. If I can't have it, no one will. Really, truly evil. So the Monument Men go in and they land on the beaches of Normandy after Normandy, and they start going in and they try to find all of this. And so it's their story of trying to find it. And it's really amazing and historically accurate. It's based on a great book called Monuments Men. So I'm watching this and I am seething inside because even though I've read the book and, know the story and everything else, I'm seething inside because all I can think of is these progressive son of a bitches went in to save the art, and the art was being stolen from the Jewish collectors, Rothschild. So there's one scene where they were like, Rothschild is on the back of this painting. So how do you mean it was a gift? Because that one says Rothschild too. Don't care about the Jew behind the painting. Don't care about the Jewish family that was exterminated, sent to a death camp. Don't care about any of that. FDR is on record saying, we're not here to save the Jews. We're here to stop Germany. But they are there to save the art. And the fact that the people in Hollywood this is what got my blood boiling. The people that made this movie are the same people that, A, say we're nothing but horrible, horrible human beings, that we're nothing but conquerors and we steal everything we can get our hands on, and yet name the country that replaced all of the monuments. Name the country that found the Mona Lisa and put it back. We could have taken it. We were the conquerors. Russia did it. Russia came in, and wherever they were, they took it and they sent it all back to Moscow. They took it all. We didn't. We went in, we found it, and we returned it to the owners. And so now, think of this. Here's Hollywood that say that we're just a horrible, horrible nation. NBC is, while I'm watching this, NBC is on the air saying, oh, it was a pivotal experience, communism, and it's showing the communists going in and trying to steal the art and bringing it back to Moscow. It shows us trying to save the art and then give the art back to the original owners. And yet, they say that we're evil while we did that. And then they actually claim that progressives care about people when the real story is they cared about the art, but not the people. They didn't go and say, screw the art. Forget about the art. What about the people? What happened to the people? No, we didn't care. We didn't care. Progressives didn't care. And so all of those Jews died. We could have stopped them. We could have, instead of monuments men, how about Auschwitz men? How about Dachau men? Why didn't we do that? Because they didn't care. It's really, truly amazing. Truly amazing.
If you know the FDR quote, that we're not there for the Jews, we're there to stop Germany, then that has to be an incomprehensible movie to you. We had the pictures. We took the pictures of Auschwitz. We knew. Oh, it was all
It was all documented at the time. Death chamber, gas chamber, a crematorium. We knew. We saw the trains. We knew everything. The people begged FDR, please, can we bomb? Please, can we bomb the trains? Bomb the train tracks so it can't pull into Auschwitz. Can we do that? We're not here to save the Jews. You can't bomb the train tracks? You can't even slow the ovens down? Nope. You want to talk about a horrible, horrible scar on our nation. If you ever bring up the Indians to me and you don't talk to me about what your progressive God, FDR, did not do for the Jewish people, you have no credibility. None. Zero credibility. And don't talk to me about the Monuments Men. This is a story I love. This is a story, to me, that tells this half of the story, because you don't want to hear the other half. It tells half of the story told by Hollywood on how great this nation is. That we actually did care about the art. That we now hold it up. And we don't look at that movie and say, what a waste that was. We think it's right. We think it's right to go get the art and put it back where it belongs and give it to the people. At one point, Matt Damon is in it, right?
Yeah.
One point, Matt Damon, he finds this piece of art, and he's in this big, huge warehouse. And Cate Blanchett says, he says, what is this place? Or what is all of this? And she says, it's people's lives. And it was all Jewish people. It was everything they stole from the Jewish, a huge warehouse, everything they stole from every Jewish home. And he finds this one painting, and it has an address on the back of it. And he goes into this apartment, and he can see the stain on the wall, the fade on the wall where that painting once hung. And there's nothing else in this room. And he hangs it back up. And Cate Blanchett doesn't believe that he's not going to steal all the art. And he hangs it back up. He doesn't know she's following him. And she said, they're not coming back. And he turns around, and there, in red paint on one wall, it says Juden with the Star of David on it. So in other words, Jews. And she says, they're not coming back, you know. And he said, my job is to put the art back where it came from. And it's a really poignant moment and really shows, I mean, to me, because I know the whole story, we weren't doing a damn thing for the people, but we were doing it for the art. Because of the progressives. If you would have asked the American people, if you wouldn't have had a campaign, and you would have asked the American people, hey, do we save the art, Or do we save all the people that are going to the ovens? Every American would have said, save the Jews for the love of Pete. But it was because the universities and the progressives, this was their thing. They were all anti-Jewish, just as much as they're anti-Jewish now. Look at what's happening to our campuses. Same thing, same story, same love affair with totalitarianism. But you watch that story, and if you try to not be me for a little while, and just use it as a, yes, we're good people. We are good people. It's an incredible story. And I think really well done.
And the people who were executing the recovery of the art weren't necessarily culpable in this.
Because if you would have sent them to save the Jews at Auschwitz, they would have been even more happy to do that.
You got that sense from them. They knew. Everybody, all of the soldiers, they knew when somebody said they went to Dachau. They knew. And it got quiet and everybody was like, oh, dear God. So they knew, and they would have stopped it.
Yeah.
It was the leadership. It was FDR.
Yeah, and listen to this. What is this? The sequence of numbers: 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 3, 3, 1, 1, 2. It's FDR's ranking in the presidents of all time by academics. He's 1, 2, or 3 in every single one of those measures, and this is a guy who did that.
No, he's a guy who not only did that, he's a guy who also rounded up. Think of what people say about
in our own country.
Think about what people say about Lincoln and how bad Lincoln was. Do you hear that about FDR, about how he rounded up the Japanese? Rounding up the Japanese is one of the worst things I've ever heard in my life. That's one of the worst things we've done in the 20th century. I mean, besides the mass sterilization that we did of men, of black men, besides the sterilization of the unfit, besides the progressive movement, especially out in California, that shipped this whole idea of eugenics over to Germany, besides all of that, any president that rounds up his own people, how can you possibly put him in the top 5, 10, top 40?
Doesn't that disqualify you at some level?
Yes, it does. It disqualifies you as a great president. It also disqualifies you as a decent human being. But they will only look at the places that they want. Monuments Men, it shows how split personality we are as a country. That we are a decent, God-fearing, decent, giving, righteous people when we choose. And at the same time, our leaders can take our collective heart and have it go cold. And ignore it and pretend it's not there. And they can ignore an entire race of people. It happened with the Indians. It happened with the Japanese. And it certainly happened with the Jews. It's wrong. It's evil. But that comes from a fascistic style leadership where our goodness is expressed as individuals. And when there's enough individuals that understand good, then we start to elect good people, and good things happen. Because good people don't take all of the power themselves.
Glenn Beck! The Glenn Beck Program.
The Blaze Radio Network.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
This Wednesday, For the Record returns. Controversial new episode of the Fort Hood massacre. The attack that killed 14 people, including an unborn child, injured more than 30. The government said it was workplace violence. Not workplace violence. In fact, tonight I'm going to air an interview with a woman who I don't believe has ever been interviewed before on television. I'm not sure. But I don't think you've heard from her. She's the actual trigger person. She's the one who brought him down. And then they brought him to justice, which took us a long time, and it's not workplace violence. Our producers have uncovered evidence suggesting that Nidal Hassan has ties to international terrorists, including a high-ranking leader of Al-Qaeda. We speak to the survivors of the attack, many of whom have never been heard from before, including a sergeant who was shot 7 times by Hassan, and then the woman who helped take Hassan down. She's actually on tonight's broadcast at 5 o'clock. But this episode, for the record, full hour Wednesday at 8 p.m. Don't miss this. Subscribe to The Blaze now. This is one of the things that we feel so strongly about, that is our mission in life, to put together a record of what is true and what has happened at this point. You know, what is our true history? For the Record takes on the Fort Hood massacre, and we tell the story accurately. You don't want to miss that. It is Wednesday, only on the Blaze TV. Sign up now at theblaze.com. By the way, this is extraordinarily expensive to do. I give you my word, I don't make a dime off of, they'll say, Glenn Beck makes... No, the company does. And I have plowed every single dollar that I have, and every dollar that comes in from the Blaze, and more, goes back into the Blaze. So your subscription dollars, every single dollar has gone back in to produce shows like this. And we have a lot more we'd like to produce and a lot more stories to tell, but it's really expensive, and the only way we can do it is because of you. I give God credit for the expansion that we have had, but really, it's you being faithful to God. You being faithful and hearing something and saying, yeah, I want to support that. And we can't thank you enough. Subscribe now at the Blaze TV. At theblaze.com/TV. Sign up, 14-day free trial. You'll be able to see the episode on Wednesday. Or you can call and get it on your cable operator. Call them and say, we want the Blaze. 800-996-BLAZE. 800-996-BLAZE. GetTheBlaze.com. Back in a minute.
The Glenn Beck Program.
The Blaze Radio Network. You're listening to the Glenn Beck Program.
It's so weird. I'm listening to the Glenn Beck Program at the same time. What are the odds? Hello and welcome to the program. So, may I tell you a story that was in a novel by Chris Stewart that we released? It was a series of novels, Wrath and Righteousness. If you didn't read it, you might want to. The novel starts with the Iranians coming off the coast of California and the coast of the eastern seaboard. I don't remember where they were, maybe Florida, and launching a missile into the sky just outside of our water line, and launching a missile and then blowing it up right at the right place for an EMP, which is strangely exactly what they've been doing in all of their tests. They keep launching these missiles and they keep blowing up at exactly the place that you would need it to blow up for an EMP. And the head of the Russian missile test responded to one of the reporters, and one of the reporters said, it's another failure. It keeps blowing up. And he said, failure? Well, that would depend on what you were trying to do, wouldn't it? Well, yes, Mr. Spooky Military Guy, it would, I guess. So what are you trying to do? Why are these exploding at exactly the same place every time? Some are the hypothesis is that it is because that's exactly the altitude you would need to explode for an EMP. An EMP off the west coast and off the east coast of the United States would shut the United States down, and listen to this staggering number, 75% of our population would die in the first year, or is it 2 years?
I thought it was 6 months, but it might
it's
be
a staggering number and
Yeah.
a staggering short period of time to kill that many people. And you don't have to march an army in. All you have to do is just shut our electricity off. And I mean, fry all of the electronics.
Think about what that would do. You know, it would stop
trains, trucks,
food,
tractors,
no
everything.
food. Your supply would dry up. No drugs. So if you're on some kind of medicine, some kind of life-saving medicine, you're not on that anymore.
Any kind of drugs, anything from
gone.
insulin to. I mean, think of this one. Nobody thinks of this. Think of the amount of psychiatric drugs this country is on.
Yeah.
And think about the animal rage that is being held at bay by so many drugs. Think of the Lipitors, all the way from just the heart medication, blood pressure medication, the pacemakers, everything that all of a sudden is just no longer works. How many people die just because the pharmaceuticals dry up, let alone the food, the water supply, heat, air conditioning, you name it, and then the disease. So I tell you that because
the panic and the ensuing rioting and
bad. It's the worst case scenario. It becomes the zombie apocalypse. This is the premise in Wrath and Righteousness, and Chris Stewart lays it all out in his book. And this was a series that we released 3 years ago. And you can still buy it online, Wrath and Righteousness, and it's I think a 5-book series. And I do believe that this was inspired writing. I read it probably 5-6 years ago, and I bought the series from Chris, and I just think it is the most incredible story that Americans should read. It should be a TV show. It's almost like the beginning of Revolution in a way. That movie, it shows you how you get there and what happens. And so the reason why I bring it up today is because I don't know if anybody saw, the Iranians are sending a destroyer. Is it a destroyer and a fleet of ships around the destroyer to our coastline? You see that?
Yeah.
Over the weekend,
near our maritime borders, I guess.
Yeah. Which is, where, Chris's book, that's where they are. And they're right at our water line, our maritime borders. And they're sending a destroyer over. And they're saying they're just doing it to posture and say, we're not afraid of you. Now think of that. Forget about the EMP thing. I mean, I really think you should read Wrath and Righteousness. It's a great book. It's a great series. It's really, you won't be able to put this thing down. Pat and I talked about it. In fact, everybody on the staff read it when we first published it, and I forced everybody to read it. And everybody said the same thing. I don't know the difference between fact and fiction anymore because of what's happening. It is so closely mirroring everything that's going on in the Middle East, especially. I don't know what's fact and fiction. But not only is it worth thinking about how easy it would be for the Iranians to hit us with an EMP and completely change the course of the world and humanity for at least a century, it's worth just considering how weak we have become that the Iranians can send over a destroyer to our the Iranians. We're not talking about the Soviet Union and Cuba. We're talking about the Iranians. Now, this is the same Iranian group of thugs that our president says we can negotiate with, that we actually won in the negotiation, that they're on the right road now. Did you see that they said over the weekend that the Jews and Israelis, I think, need to be vaporized, I think was their word, and that the great Satan will be stopped as well? That's what they're saying. We're claiming, our president is claiming that, we're on the road to really great things with the Iranians. And look at what ththey're doing.
Yeah, and did you see the state-run simulation they ran on TV?
No, I didn't see this. I read about it on the Blaze, but I didn't even read about it. I saw the headline on the Blaze.
It's cheesy. It's ridiculous, but it shows their intent. They show these drones flying over Israel and just wiping the cities out and targets out, and they're facing absolutely no defense from the Israelis whatsoever. Then they show them attacking the USS Lincoln in the Gulf and just wreaking destruction on the U.S. and Israeli targets. And
now, is this just like a Hollywood movie that they're doing?
No, it's a simulation of what they're going to do to us if we even threaten them.
So this is done by their government to show us what we're going to do.
Yeah.
What they're going to do.
Yeah, show us what we're in for if we continue to backsass them. So, I mean, it's
we're winning.
Silly, but
we're winning.
Yeah.
We're winning.
Yeah.
Let me go to Steve in Boston. Hello, Steve. You're on the Glenn Beck program.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call. I am a Dutch immigrant. My father survived Auschwitz and Dachau. He was liberated in Dachau by American troops. And I have a question for the American Jews that vote Democratic and that are backing Obama. What are you going to tell your children and grandchildren after Israel has been wiped off the map? Glenn, I think it's extremely important. You are in my prayers. You are one of the very few people that speak up, that is not Jewish, that keep this issue on the table. You are a righteous man.
Steve, that means a great deal to me. Thank you very much for your phone call. I'm in the middle of writing something right now. Just the working project is called a name. Nobody even knows this yet. I haven't told a soul about this. I started writing it a couple of weeks ago. The working title is 2074. And I don't know if it's a short story or if it's a movie, or I don't know what it is yet. But the year is 2074. And the grandkids have to stand. And totalitarianism has been wiped off the face of the earth again. But this time after, 50 years of fighting. And it's the children that when the teacher stands up and says, "Can anyone tell us what your grandparents did?" All of the students look down. Nobody has been told what any of their grandparents did. One student looks up. I can. And it's one of the things that really drives me. I'm a person of history. I am, because I read so much history, because I love history so much, I have a sense of history. And I have a sense that you're not just living a life that is not... History, at some point, was just a collection of everybody's lives just trying to do the right thing. Everybody was just trying to get up and, they were doing their life. And that's just what it was. And history just, some big colossal event just washes over them. But it's those few that stand and do something when history is beginning to wash over. It's those few that are, in the lifeguard seats going, "Everybody off the beach! Good God, everybody off the beach!" It's those people. And when that happens, those people are remembered. And I don't think, honestly, I don't think that I will be remembered in time. I don't think that I will be remembered in history books except as a monster, if at all. But I will be remembered by my children, and my grandchildren will be taught by my children. Your grandfather stood. Your grandfather saw this. Your grandfather saw he was wrong on a lot of things. Your grandfather wasn't, the greatest guy in the world, and, he wasn't, he tried. But he saw this, and he stood. That's who I'll be. I will be a good memory. I will not shame, not the past generations. I will not shame my future generations. I will not shame my children to come. I want my children and grandchildren to come to be able to look back and say, you know what the pivot point was in our family? Your grandfather. My family is a family of abuse. My family is a family of alcoholism and abuse. Bad abuse that someday we'll have a talk about. I made a choice about 5 years ago. It ends. It ends. This generation, it ends, and it ends with me. And I made that promise to myself when I was young in my immediate family. But it ends in all of my family. It ends for all of my nieces and my nephews. It ends in this generation, and it ends with me. I challenge you to be that person in your life, to be that person in your family. I challenge you. Give the future generations from your line something to be proud of.
The fusion of entertainment and enlightenment.
This is the Glenn Beck Program, the Blaze Radio Network.
Glenn Beck Program.
Jeffy just brought up a really good point. I'm kidding. He didn't bring up a good point. We were talking during the break, and Jeffy said to me, Glenn, I hate to break it to you, but it's Iran. They've got one destroyer. It's like a bucket, and we've got the fleet off their coast. I understand that, but the point of wrath and righteousness, and I don't know if it was Iran that did it. It might have been, was it North Korea? I know Saudis were behind it. It's been like 5 years since
Saudis were behind it, but I think they got like a third party to do it, like North Korea or somebody.
So anyway, the point of that was, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it just a barge?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't even a military ship. It was a barge. To do what they did in wrath and righteousness, to explode an EMP over the United States, does not need to be a military ship. It could be a cruise liner, it could be a speedboat, it could be a tug. It doesn't matter. You just need to get it in just off of our maritime border. And you get it close enough into our maritime border. And if you can get it at the altitude the Iranians, and I believe the North Koreans can get it to now, and exploded above the United States, it knocks out all of our power. And it is a different world if that happens. But happy Monday to you.
Good morning,
Good
everybody.
morning.
It's a beautiful day. Beautiful.
It's going to be nice. And don't worry, we've got more snow on the way, too, and ice. So
6 more weeks of winter because the groundhog saw a shadow.
Good morning.
The Blaze Radio Network.
You're about to hear is the fusion of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
All right. No, this is great. The Obama administration has eased the rules for would-be asylum seekers, refugees, and others who hope to come or stay in the United States who gave limited support to terrorists or terrorist groups. I only helped wire the bomb. That's all I did.
It's limited. I didn't do the whole bomb. I didn't find the parts.
The Department of Homeland Security and State Department now say people considered to have provided limited material support to terrorists or terrorist groups are no longer automatically barred from the U.S.
Why would they be?
I know. Why are we so judgmental?
Gosh. I mean...
You know, can't we all just get along? Let's sing that Coke commercial, which, by the way, drives me out of my mind.
They're still doing it.
They are still doing it. That's not what I said. Anytime you read anybody going on and on and on about this Coke commercial, I don't give a flying crap about that Coke commercial. I don't give a flying crap. And I said the difference is the way to not make that a political statement. They knew that was a political statement. The way to not make that a political statement is have everybody sing the last line of it together in English. And then it's uniting, because there's not a person on the planet.
Kind of like, I don't know, they did in the 70s with the I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. Well, you're not singing in harmony if you're all singing different languages, nobody understands each other.
Okay, so this was nothing about everything about multiculturalism and nothing about America and unity and everything else. It's all bullcrap. And for the press goes on and on and on and on about, Glenn Beck, see, he's a racist. He says this. Oh, shut up. Shut up. That's not what I said at all, and you know it.
We did a segment on Super Bowl commercials in which we played a bunch of Super Bowl commercials and made short comments on them.
Right.
It's not an international incident.
The point of my comments was just, you could take away that argument by just having them sing the last line, everybody in English.
And all we said was, not that we were necessarily even offended by it, but that's what they were trying to do.
I said I wasn't offended by it. It's a soda commercial.
Yeah, who cares?
It's a Coke commercial. And get over it.
Currently doing the show right now, holding a delicious Coke Zero.
How could you do that with those evil
Look
people?
at my passion against that.
Oh my God!
I'm planning on firebombs right now. That's what I'm doing. Okay. So, do you remember when the press came after us after the Boston bombing? And I said to you, what was it, the 3111B or whatever that thing was? You remember that?
Yeah.
And I said, they are letting these guys through, and they know who they are, and they're letting them through. That's ridiculous. How dare you say that they were blah, 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 blah. What is this? What is this? Now the Department of Homeland Security is making it official. If you're coming over here and you have material support ties to terrorists, you can still come over? Okay, yeah, right. Call me the crazy one. What is wrong with us? And I don't mean Washington anymore. I know what's wrong with them. What is wrong with the rest of the people? What is wrong with our neighbors? Have you really forgotten? You know what? Turn your car radio up and roll. I know it's cold outside. Roll the window down. Turn it up. And then just look at the car next to you, because I'm going to say something. Just look at the car next to you. I'll tell you when. And then when I finish, you just look at them like, right? Okay, you ready? Roll your window down. What the hell is wrong with us? Did we all forget about 9/11? The Department of Homeland Security is now letting people with terrorist ties in, and they're doing it knowingly, and they don't think what the hell is wrong with us? Do the right thing now. Just look at them right now. Right? Drive on.
Roll up your window first.
Yeah, it's very cold. I'm sorry for that.
Chilly, that wind will.
I actually should have told them to roll down their window too, because you were just now looking at it.
Now you're just cold.
Person's car was like,
didn't help
what the hell is wrong with that guy? He turned down his window and it was blaring at me. I don't have any idea. People are crazy
of it.
With things going on in the world, like our Department of Homeland Security letting people in across the borders. I got some freak rolling down his window, giving me the eye. What the hell is wrong with us? Warning: it doesn't end well. It doesn't end well if you do stuff like that. It just doesn't end well. Meanwhile, you have Putin. I got pretty kitty cat on my lap. Sure, he eats arm off zookeeper last week. This week, I like pretty kitty cat. Does the guy... think of all of the old James Bond villains. sitting there with a cat on their lap. Pretty kitty. Yes, nice kitty. I'm nice man, right? He's doing all of the, it's like, do you remember how all of the villains used to be like, and Austin Powers made fun of this. No, I'm not going to kill him right away. I'm going to put him in an overly elaborate device and just assume that he won't escape. Putin has done every villain thing except for that. He's done every villain thing, and nobody sees that he's a villain. And roll down the window again. Roll it down. Are we the only ones that see that Vladimir Putin is a huge villain? Do the right thing again. Right?
Okay, now we'll roll back up your window because I didn't hear that either because you didn't have them roll down their window first.
It's crazy.
Yeah. He is the stereotypical villain, though, isn't he? He acts just as all these stereotypical villains do.
I have the producers today looking into the stuff on Putin. I want some stuff on his early career because wasn't he in charge of
KGB?
Yeah, he was in charge of he was a colonel in the KGB, and I think he was in charge of the worst prison thing in Moscow. I think he was in charge of where they really tortured people, the elites. I think he was in charge of that. So he's a good guy. You can trust him.
Yeah.
Okay. And he has made our president look like this is,
you see what they did to him during the torch ceremony? Of course.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's in response to us sending Brian Boitano and some other gay ambassador to the Olympics. It's kind of a poke in their eye. So he poked us back in the eye during the torch ceremony when he had Irina Rodnina.
Love Irina Rodrina.
She helped light the torch.
She's like
what is she, a nice skater?
Rosanna Dana.
Yes. But she tweeted out, she sent out a doctored photo of President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama appearing to share a banana as if they were monkeys. I mean, just horribly racist thing. So instead of being outraged like anybody would be, they use her in the torch ceremony. That was a clear signal that right back in your face.
What did NBC say about it? Did they say anything? Nothing.
They didn't say word one about it. Not a word about Irina, except about her storied Olympic career. That's it.
And you want me to watch this piece of crap? You've been yelling at me all day. Glenn, you've got to watch
the opening ceremony.
I don't want an aneurysm.
You love spectacles like that.
That was part of the opening ceremonies. Yeah. An aneurysm between it was a pivotal experiment, that communism thing.
If you can ignore all of NBC's brown nosing to to that regime.
So I should watch it with the sound off.
Yeah, I would.
There's pretty lights and dancing.
Pretty lights and dancing.
Mm-hmm. I heard it was spectacular.
It was.
Better than China?
It seriously was.
Walking in.
Better than China?
So many people that walked in. There was it was a ton of people walked in.
Inside.
Wait
a minute. They didn't walk in like carrying their flag.
Yes! That's exactly what they did.
Shut up! I've always wanted to see that.
They were walking they were near each other.
Wait. They didn't walk in let's say it was in a dish shape or a bowl shaped stadium kind of thing.
That's exactly what they did.
And then they walk out not from underneath the crowd.
Yes!
And they got their flags.
And then they wave.
And they walk and the announcer's like, this is the delegation from Georgia.
Right.
Then they did that.
They did that. And then there's
the Japanese and the Japanese didn't do it.
They were there. They were there too.
Oh, man.
Pat's mad because he likes the Olympics.
I don't care. You guys keep going.
I tell you, the thing I do like about the Olympics, I really miss this, and I don't know if anybody, I've been a little nostalgic this week, because it's my, and it's Monday, because it's my 50th birthday today, and so I've been, a little kind of reflecting back on the, first, 50 years of my long and storied life, and,
long at least.
No, storied. It's full of stories. Okay. Yeah, it's full of stories, most of which you don't want to tell, but full of stories. But as I'm looking back on things, last night, the kids come over every Sunday, and so I have the whole family together, and we this is one tradition I got from Tanya's family, and the only thing I'm pissed at is my in-laws, the Colonnas, will not move down here. Vinny, Marianne, yeah, I'm calling you out. They won't move down. I want them to Yeah, no, Jeffy, I'm calling them out. I've asked them to move down here, and they were like, no, we've lived here our whole life. Whatever, get over it. It's Connecticut. It sucks. I think it was a really important thing that Tanya grew up with her grandparents and her parents and everybody every Sunday coming together. So every Sunday the family comes together and we have a meal and we do what every family does. We argue, and we laugh and it's just a great time. Last night, Rafi said, and this is the first time that they have done this, so this weekend, I should say, is the first time they've done this. They're like, Dad, can we watch such and such tonight? Hurry, the Olympics are starting. And we used to be a nation that when I was growing up, we would, we'd have the Cosby Show. It's Thursday night, the Cosby Show, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And we don't have that anymore as a culture.
There's not appointment television anymore.
No. You can watch it at any time that you want, and that's good.
Plus, there are scant few shows to even make an appointment to watch.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. And it's just like, it's not, you remember, Stu, in the 90s, I said, you watch, this is probably about 95 or 96, or right around when you first started, I said, you watch. Everything will be a download time. They were still, it's Thursday night, must-see TV. And I said to Stu, you watch. Everything in the future will just be a download time.
It's exactly what Netflix is doing.
Yeah,
right now.
And it's no longer, and this was unheard of. When I said that, you couldn't even watch, video online without it taking you an hour to download, 2 minutes. And I said someday it'll all be download time. And that is really great and really convenient, but we lose something that was really kind of neat, and that is that collective experience that the next morning we all come in and we talk about the ice skaters.
At the water cooler.
The water cooler. Well,
water cooler talk is got it, American out.
And saying, hey, you see those ice skaters last night?
Hey, didn't they skate around that ice? And jump and stuff and dance a little bit. Yeah, it was great. One of them fell.
Tanya said to the kids last night. Tanya said last night to the kids, I think it was Tanya. I think it was Tanya. She said, I couldn't have been Tanya. Who was it? It said, I remember wanting the Russians to fall. I remember wanting the evil empire, the Russians to fall.
You remember that? I remember that too from last night.
You know what? Can I tell you something? I felt that way for the first time again since the wall fell. When the wall fell, we all started feeling like, okay, this is great. Remember at Tanagra when the walls fell? And
Gilad in Tanagra?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's about 4 people in the United States right now that are just like, they're laughing.
Oh, they're funny.
Totally complete geeks, but they're like, they're laughing. That is so funny.
They're in their parents' basement in their underwear right now.
But anyway, laughing. When the wall fell, we were all, we were glad, but we lost somebody to root against. And China is kind of like that, but not really. I think Russia is becoming that evil empire again.
Yeah.
That, you're like, don't root for them, kids. Don't root.
Oh, remember when this was brought up in a year called 2012 by one candidate, Mitt Romney. He was mocked uniformly by the media. Yeah. Oh, what are you fighting the Cold War again? Russia's the cause of all of our problems?
No, yes, and yes, they are. Yes, they are. It is, last night we were just joking because of Putin. We had the kids, I brought them online to show them the vases that, he went down. I just love that story. He goes scuba diving on his vacation, and somebody goes and they take these old ancient vases and put them down at the bottom of the sea so he can go scuba diving and go
and this has been proven.
Look, I come out of water. I also explorer and archaeologist.
I just find these.
I find vases, put in museum.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how evil this guy is.
And how ridiculous does it sound now when you think back to what Hillary did with the Russian ambassador?
The reset button.
Thing. Remember that?
I wanted to present you, which represents what President Obama and Vice President Biden and I have been saying. And that is, we want to reset our relationship.
Oh. No, we don't. No,
we will do it together.
Stop. So we are resetting. We are resetting. We're on the wrong side.
We've reset, though, back to the Cold War.
Yeah, and it is really, truly frightening. Last night when they were doing the interviews with one of the Russians, and one of the NBC said, "So what did Vladimir Putin say, before you skated?" And they put the mic, and he was looking, at it for a while, and I said out loud I was doing commentary all the way through it for the kids. They thought it was great. What did Vladimir Putin say, before you went on the ice? "I will kill you if you screw this up." That's who this guy is.
Glenn Beck.
The Blaze Radio Network. On air, online, in your pocket. Find out all the ways to listen at theblaze.com/radio.
Man, you know what? Somebody just brought me some birthday cupcakes, and I've only got 4 of them, so they didn't bring enough for you guys.
There's 4 of us.
Yeah, we're perfect. It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
4.
Yeah, 4 of us.
1, 2, 3.
No, this
4.
one is for the next commercial break.
Okay.
This one is for the 45. This one is for the top of the hour. This one is for the last hour, 20 minutes. So that leaves
the last hour and 20
3
minutes.
more commercial breaks without a cupcake. So I am in need of 3 more. I'm actually short 3.
I'm not sure I understand the math there, but
it's a cupcake for each commercial break. I think that's what.
Right, but even if you use that, there'd still be one left.
Still be one left.
Maybe share.
Go to your best friend.
Oh no, is today? Oh no, I'm in hour number 3 already.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one. Huh. I'm wondering whom I'm going to give it to.
I mean, there is probably one person here whose birthday happened to be yesterday.
I know, your daughter, Ainsley. Happy birthday. Yeah. She's so cute. How was that? How was her birthday yesterday? Was it fun?
Her birthday was great, which also happens to be mine.
But she is so cute. She's great.
She's adorable.
How old is she now?
She's 1. But
that is fantastic.
She's 1 already.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Wow,
how did
that
we miss
is great.
That?
Happy birthday, Ainsley. Happy birthday.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
The Blaze Radio Network. Don't miss a morsel of truth. Sign up for the free newsletter at glennbeck.com.
So I'm just trying to get my arms around this. Hang on just a second. Hold on just a second. Last Tuesday, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who I'm in, told reporters immigration is just not in the cards for 2014. Well, that is a strong statement from Mitch McConnell, isn't it? That shows you where Mitch McConnell is. Matt Bevin.
Yeah.
Matt Bevin for Senate. Matt Bevin for Senate. Matt Bevin for Senate.
MattBevin.com.
I think it is. If you would want to put some money in to beat Karl Rove and his little cronies like Mitch McConnell, it would be MattBevin.com, I think.
I think so.
Check that out. Stu, could you check out? It's Matt, M-A-T-T.
Double T?
Yeah.
Okay.
B-E-V-I-N, I believe. Matt and then Bevin.
That's MattBevin.com.
I think. Check that out to see if that's what it is.
So that's D-O-T-C-O-M? Or is that
no, just a period. Just the period.
Yeah,
Matt Bevin.
I don't think this is it, because this comes up for Matt Bevin for U.S. Senate, and I don't know if that's what you're talking about.
No, that's it. That's it.
Really?
Matt Bevin for U.S. Senate.
Because this is the one that has the donate button on it, and I don't think that's what you mean.
Where's the donate button? Where
it's on
is
the bottom right.
It's on the bottom right. What do you do when you get to that donate button?
So you would click on that and then donate?
And then there's a thing that comes up, gives you options of like $10, $25, $50.
Or more. Or like
more,
your house.
Up to 1,000 or other amount.
Like your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know if this is the same
then what
one.
does that do if you donate to Matt Bevin on that particular website? Is that the one that goes to help destroy Mitch McConnell and his cronies?
Well, it helps to put Matt Bevin, conservative Republican, into the U.S. Senate. That would replace Mitch McConnell.
Okay. Well, that's even a better one. So that doesn't destroy Mitch McConnell. That just makes him go into some other business at home.
But gives him more time with his family.
I love that.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. He's been
MattBevin.com.
Give him a rest. Give Mitch McConnell a rest.
So anyway, I'm just looking at Mitch McConnell's strong statement that it's just not in the cards this year. Oh man. Rank and file House members sent a loud message to President Obama that they are not the partner for legislation, spooking even top proponent Paul Ryan. Oh no, is Paul scared? Paulie Wally, you need a banky. You need a banky because you're afraid? Because maybe people are going to say, Paulie Wally's not really a conservative, not standing for the Constitution or my values? That Paulie Wally's maybe just Paulie Wally, when Mom and Dad get home and find out you were for immigration reform, they're not going to be happy. The editors from National Review, Weekly Standard, and numerous other top conservative pundits have urged Republicans to cut it out. However, since the GOP retreat last week, Boehner has just kept marching along. Quote, I think leadership's focus and my focus is to get immigration done as early as possible, said Jeff Denham of California, who Boehner recently met with on the issue.
I think it's pronounced Boehner.
Is it? There's no A in that.
Yeah,
it's B-O-E.
No, you're
that's
right.
Boehner. That's Boehner.
Yeah.
Recently met on the issue. It's part of our conference agenda right now. You know what that is? That is somebody in his long line that was like, we cannot be boners. Pronounce it Boehner. It's pronounced Boehner. And then John was born, and they're like, he's the biggest boner of them all.
Really? I mean, honestly. This is as good as the quality of the critique of this particular.
Wow, hold on just a second. That is beneath me, isn't it?
Yes.
Wow. And I'm
50
I'm
years.
50 years
to
old.
reflect on your life.
50 years old. And this
goodness.
isn't very Gandhi-like.
You're right.
Where is Mahatma Gandhi anyway?
Yeah, what happened to that guy?
Clearly, I apologize. Clearly, the draft principles we outlined, members seem to be supportive of them, Boehner said at a press conference.
Did it again.
It's Bain.
I wouldn't be surprised if immigration legislation came to the House floor as early as this spring, one well-connected GOP member said.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
Do we need the music?
But,
just to kind of help you get through this story. Is there kind of a personal reminder to,
be more Gandhi-like?
Mm-hmm.
Gandhi had a staff, though, didn't he? Didn't he walk with a staff? Didn't he? I mean, once in a while. Didn't he just take that staff like Yoda? Because even Yoda did that, like, whack!
I don't remember seeing Yoda whack anybody with the staff, but...
No, I'm pretty sure he did.
You sure he did?
I'm pretty sure he did. Remember when he was in with Dooku or whatever his name was? Didn't he got pretty nasty with that stick. You know Gandhi was doing the same thing. Soon as he was in a cave with Dooku or whoever Gandhi was in the cave with, one of those salt mines, you know he was like... whack.
He's Jedi Master.
Yeah, that's what's happening. So this right here, this just happens to be my stick.
Okay.
The microphone?
Yes.
It's tough. This immigration thing is it the last straw? Is it the last thing that...
I don't think there is a last straw for Republicans. I really don't. I think that there's a lot of Republicans out there that are like, oh, no, we got to win at any cost. What are you going to win? What are you winning? What are you winning?
I'm most perplexed by the Republican argument on immigration in that, like, they don't look past one step. It's like, okay, we give things to Hispanics and then they will like us, end of story. Well, what happens at the end of that next step? You're in a position in which you're giving something to Hispanics. And then
you're
the
not
Democrats,
giving
but let's just say, we're giving them something that they supposedly want. That's their thought process. But once you get there, the Democrats will always give them more.
Yes.
You will always be on the side that's holding something back from Hispanics in the eyes of these voters.
You have to talk about principles.
Yeah, just do what you believe.
And history. Let's talk about history. You've only got proof of it happening in the past. Ronald Reagan did this exact same thing back in 1986, thinking the same thoughts they're thinking now. It wasn't quite as serious a problem, but it was serious at the time. They did all that stuff. They gave them amnesty. They asked them to pay the fine. None of them did, and it actually lost the Republicans' votes they thought they were going to gain from this. It didn't work then. It won't work now.
You're not going to win a giveaway fest with Democrats.
See, here's the problem, and I know this is the problem of our society right now. This is the argument that anybody in politics is having. Well, you're going to lose elections. We got to get the votes. You're going to lose elections. Forget about elections. You will. You know what? I gave this speech to the radio industry, and I said, this was on Friday, and I said, I want to talk to you about something that first I talked about the talent side, and the talent side that says, I can't find a job. Nobody will give me a job. How am I ever going to break into radio? Are you kidding me? There is more opportunity in radio right now than ever before. By leaps and bounds. I have Dom Theodore and Chris Peterson. They are both executives in my company in our radio division, which we have just started about a year ago and is already the 19th largest stream. Think of this, the 19th largest stream in the United States. To put that into context, the others on the list are all like Viacom and Clear Channel that have hundreds of streams. We have one. And we're in the top 20. We're the only one with one stream. To show you the power of what is happening when you just tell the truth that nobody is willing to do and you just stick straight to it. Okay. I have two executives. One of their jobs is to go look for new talent. Now, where are they going to find that new talent? Internet. They're finding that new talent, yes, doing internet. And we're not looking to people who are like, well, I'm doing a blog every time and I've got 3 listeners. You can connect with people all over the world. Show me that you are doing something that is so right in line with where the American people are that you're just taking off. Show it to me. You don't need even me or anybody else. You don't need these big corporations anymore. You can do it. You have everything that you need at your disposal right now. For the first time in human history, a kid can be heard all the way around the world. You just have to have something to say. That's the difference. Do you have something to say? And do you really believe it? Because nobody's going to listen to you if you're just saying things to be outrageous. Nobody's going to listen. Those days are over. They're over. You actually have to believe in something and say it. 2, I was talking to the owners and everything else. You keep focusing on profit. Profit is a byproduct. No matter what business you're in, don't go into it for profit. You go into it for profit, you'll end up being an evil corporation that eventually destroys everything. It's not about profit. Profit is a byproduct. Profit comes because you've created something really, really great. If Mr. Hoover decided that he was going to do something for profit, we would not be using a vacuum. We would not be using a Hoover vacuum right now. The same for everything. If Farnsworth would have said, if I could just make a lot of money, he wouldn't have invented the television. Now, the same thing is true with the parties. If you just approach this as, I just need the votes, I just need the votes, I just need the votes, you'll never get the votes. The votes are a byproduct. The election is a byproduct of what you stand for. So what are you building? You're building votes. That doesn't exist. That's like saying, come to my store. I'm building profit. Nobody's going to walk into that store. Nobody wants that store. You know what that store is? Don't go into that store. They're going to rip you off. You build something of value. You figure out what the people want, and then you honestly give it to them. You have tried this in the past, and you've tried to do it through commercials, and you've tried to do it through catchy slogans, but those days are over. They're over. People don't buy that anymore. You actually have to say what you mean and mean what you say. And when you do, the people will come to you. So stop worrying about the damn election. Stop worrying about the damn votes. And I know everybody like Carl Rove, well, that's ridiculous. I've got research that screw your research. You know how much research we've ever done on this show or in this company? One research piece that we've done in this company. One. And as I was walking over to be briefed on it, do you know what I told my chief of staff? Oh, everybody's going to be so pissed at me because I can tell you what that research is going to say. It's going to say do this, 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 and this, and I'm going to tell them, screw you. I don't care. And that's exactly what the research showed. And, Stu, you were in that meeting. Isn't that exactly what I said?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Not doing that. Don't care. So why forget about your research. If you really believe something, say that. Do that. If you don't believe in anything except winning, get out. You're part of the problem.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
We don't care what they say. It's gotta be a new way. 'Cause the Glenn Beck Program's on.
The Blaze Radio Network.
The Glenn Beck Program's on.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
Yes, it really is. Welcome to the program, and tonight a great show on TV that you don't want to miss.
It's very true.
You don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I sat in on the meeting. I know it.
You don't listen.
I contributed to the meeting mightily today.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right. I was pretending I'm listening to you. Yeah, that's right. That was a good contribution today, Pat. That was great.
Yeah, you're going to make fun of... I think we need to turn the tables a little bit, because you're always making fun of us, and we never get the opportunity to make fun
I know
of you.
You never do.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's right, which is why I think we should just step it up a little bit. Maybe do a little. It's your 50th year on Earth. I mean, a little roast is in order, I think, at some point.
Oh, darn. Yeah. And we only have a minute left in the show.
Oh, it doesn't have to be today.
No, it doesn't have to be today.
This condition of yours lasts the entire year.
This condition?
Yes.
I've been diagnosed with a condition now?
Yes.
Wow. Huh.
Good old half a century for you today. Congratulations.
Well, good luck. Good luck trying to find anybody. No,
seriously? Has it hit you?
No, 40 hit me really hard.
3 years ago when it happened to me, it was like, geez, I'm like more than halfway there.
It doesn't. 40 really barred.